going to go live. Oops, still processing. Okay, I see you. We're going to go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live.
Good morning. I'm KHOU 11 Meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We are starting off mostly quiet. It is pretty cloudy out there, but we are expecting an evening storm threat as we get closer towards 8 p.m. and it's going to last until 3 a.m. here across the Houston area. So if you are heading out of town, you might want to just get an early head start because we're going to start seeing these storms move through in the later hours. So if you're traveling today, just keep in mind that most of our cities across Texas are going to be under a risk for some rain and storms. It does include San Antonio, even Austin, Dallas. Rio Grande Valley is going to be a bit breezy. Most of the stuff's going to be from the I-10 corridor and areas northward. But as we go looking at right now, if you are heading out the door, temps are in the upper 60s in some locations. Pearland at 69, Conroe 58, Galveston 70 degrees. As we look at our hourly forecast, it's like not going to really be until 8 o'clock this evening is when we are expecting to see that storm threat start increasing for us here across southeast Texas. And that's the reason why the KHOU 11 weather team has issued that weather impact alert day for today, going into especially later this evening. So temps are going to be a bit on the warmer side in the lower 70s, but like I said, late storms are possible as we get closer towards the 8 p.m. hour. And that's the reason why the Storm Prediction Center is including most of southeast Texas under a marginal risk for severe storms. As we time this out, right now radar is looking mostly quiet. We do have a few of these light showers that are moving in from the west, but right as we get closer towards the 8 p.m. hour, that's when we're going to start seeing these storms start approaching from the northern areas, and that's going to be that cold front that is going to be sweeping through our area later on tonight. And so from 8 p.m. through at least 10 to 11 o'clock p.m., we could expect these storms to start moving into the Houston area in the overnight hours. So that is going to really have the risk for maybe an isolated tornado, some gusty winds, as well as some damaging winds with these storms as they move through. And then as we get closer towards 1 to 2 a.m., they're going to start nearing the coastal areas, especially across the Galveston area later on tonight. So again, this is a late evening event for us here across the Houston area. I'm going to go ahead and time this out once more so you can see that timing going into later today. So we're going to see some nuisance showers throughout the day, but once we get closer towards around the 8 p.m. hour, that's when we're going to start seeing a line of storms approaching from the north, especially along 45, 290, 249, Bryan College Station, Huntsville, seeing those storms moving through that region. But as we get closer towards 10 to 11 o'clock p.m., we will start seeing these storms moving into the city of Houston later on today. And like I said, all the threats that do exist with strong storms are going to be there. That does include isolated tornado, some large hail, as well as damaging winds with these storms as they move through. So at least make sure you have 2 or more ways to receive weather alerts as those line of storms move through later on this evening. And we're not going to really see that approach the Galveston area at least until the 2:33 a.m. hour. So widespread storms are expected. This is going to be a late evening event. I know it's Saturday, and a lot of folks want to do these outdoor activities or maybe go out on the town because it's post-Thanksgiving, but just keep in mind that we do have a risk for strong storms later on this evening, and you don't want to be stranded anywhere else across Houston, especially as these storms move on through. So as we look at the long-range forecast, we are expecting this to move through and bring us some dry conditions just briefly for tonight, but we do have the chance for more of these showers to remain in the forecast at least through Monday. So Sunday, Monday looking a bit wet, gloomy, cloudy stretch to our day, and we're going to start off a bit on the chilly side across our area going into the next few days. We're not really expecting that rain chance to really end until Tuesdays when we're going to start seeing clear skies, but we will see a surge, a blast of cold air with these storms and this cold front. So we're going into the 60s for today, but once this front does arrive later on tonight, we're going to be remaining in the 40s at least through those morning hours, especially as we head into Monday and Tuesday. So we're going to start December off on a pretty warm note here across southeast Texas and across the entire state as this cold front does move on through for today. So as we look at our situation, once again, if you are just joining us on KHOU 11+, I'm meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We are looking at another storm threat for today, and it's not going to really really be until later this evening, until 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. is when we are expecting to see that storm threat once again move into the Houston area. And we do have a tornado, wind, and hail threat with it. So there is going to be some travel impacts if you are leaving town in the later hours for today. If you're heading out of both of our major airports, or maybe you're heading north of Houston or northwest of Houston, we do have a weather system on the way that will be sweeping through Texas, and it is going to bring us a dose of strong storms during those evening hours for tonight. So as we once again look at that timing, it's not going to be until 8 p.m. is when we're going to start seeing that storm threat start ramping up for us here across the Houston area, and that's going to last at least until 2 to 3 a.m. and it's not going to really start moving into the Galveston area between 2 o'clock to 3 a.m. This morning. So of course we're starting off a bit on the warmer side this morning. I don't really think you need your jackets, but high temps are going to be in the lower 70s. We are seeing a surge of moisture moving in from the Gulf, and so when we have that surge of moisture in combination with these fronts that usually arrive during the fall and winter season, that really does give us that severe weather risk, and that's exactly what we're seeing today, and that's the reason why the Storm Prediction Center is including a large portion of eastern Texas under a marginal risk for severe storms, as we could see strong winds, isolated hail, and isolated tornado, as well as some heavy rain with that. So definitely keep in mind that we could see some ponding on roadways with these storms as we head into the next 2 to 3 days, because we are expecting this front to sort of linger across just offshore across the Gulf, and to really just give us that rain chance to be in the picture through Monday and into possibly maybe Sunday and into Monday. So radar right now is looking mostly quiet here in Houston. We're starting off cloudy, but we do have some showers moving in, especially from the west and north of town. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out here in case you are traveling across our area or across the state. We are looking at this low pressure system that is a pretty huge storm system that is moving through the central portions of the country. This is causing some widespread snow from St. Louis to Chicago, even Nebraska, portions of Wichita, looking at some rain and storm. So this massive storm system is really sort of just impacting most of the country. So if you are taking flights out towards the east or maybe out towards Chicago or the Midwest, they are looking at widespread snow showers currently right now. We are on the tail end of this system as it's moving across the country. This is really just bringing us a cold front, and we're seeing some scattered showers across the portions of north and east Texas, and we're starting to see those showers moving in from the west here across our area. But once the cold front with this system moves through the Houston area, which is going to be tonight, it will bring a round of strong storms with it here across town. So if you are heading out, once again, like I said, if you're heading out later on today, you will have the chance for some heavy rain moving in from the north, from Huntsville to Livingston, even Bryan College Station, starting at 8 o'clock p.m. And then once we get closer towards around 9 to 10 p.m., we could start looking at these storms to move into the Houston area, and they could pack a punch. They could be strong to severe as they're sweeping through the Houston area later on tonight, and that's going to last until the midnight hour, and we're not really going to expect these to start racing towards the coast at least until 2 to 3 a.m. I think we're going to be mostly in the clear here in Houston around 2 a.m., but Galveston, Angleton, Freeport, your area will start seeing the impacts from these storms as we head into the early hours for tonight. So just definitely keep in mind and have at least 2 or more ways to receive weather alerts as we head into later on this evening. But just keep in mind also, you might want to just keep those jackets on standby, because we are expecting some chilly temperatures with this front right after it sweeps on through, and we're going to start seeing that as soon as tomorrow, as those temps are going to start dropping and remaining in the 50s here across southeast Texas, and we're going to see those overnight lows drop into the 40s at least for Sunday and into Monday morning. And so we're looking at rather a pretty chilly, cold outlook going into Sunday and Monday as folks probably head back to school or work. So 7-day forecast, we are expecting it to be a weather impact alert day for today. Highs in the 70s, showers expected for Sunday, a very gloomy outlook. We're going to see those temps start tumbling into the 40s and 50s, and then Monday it's looking pretty just messy, rainy, cold, in the 40s, 60% chance of showers, and we're just gonna see mostly of just a kind of a slow, like very light rain with this as that system sort of just moves on through, and we'll start seeing those temps eventually start warming up into the 50s and 60s at least through Wednesday. And then Thursday, weather models are hinting around another system that will bring us some more rain chances on the way as we head towards the end of this next week. So expecting those conditions to remain mostly calm for now, but later on today we will see the threat for some strong storms to move through the Houston area. And of course, we are tracking the latest, and we'll be giving you several updates throughout the day as we get closer towards this evening, but make sure to tune in later on this morning for the KHOU 11 morning news at 9 a.m. Of course, myself, along with Sherman Chow, will be giving you the latest on news and weather headlines. Again, I'm meteorologist Chris Ramirez, and thank you for watching KHOU.